Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Senate adopts Conference Committee report setting new sequence of the 2019 general elections amid vehement opposition from some lawmakers. Senate issues one-week ultimatum to federal ministries, departments and agencies to submit details of their 2018 budget proposals or face sanctions. London Appeal Court rules that two Nigerian communities cannot pursue Royal Dutch Shell in English courts over oil spills in the Niger Delta. And South African President Jacob Zuma resigns after a long-running feud with his ruling ANC party. And just to remind you quickly that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. And log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device, or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. Now we have some pictures and let's take a look at them. And first one is an image showing a patrol van, which our Eyewitness reports was donated to the police by the Enugu state government. He says he's impressed with this gesture and hopes it will improve security in the state. The next one is an image from the Bonny Camp area of Lagos State showing drains filled with plastic bottles. Our Eyewitness reporter is worried about the floods that the blockage has caused for more than 9 months, and is calling on the relevant authorities to clear it before the rains resume. And still in Lagos, from the Surulere area of the city, comes this image of people whom our Eyewitness reporter described as passengers waiting for a BRT bus. According to our Eyewitness reporter, the passengers were stranded for a long time. Well, thanks a lot for all your pictures. Do send us some more. Let's go back to the National Assembly now. And the Senate has issued a one-week ultimatum to federal ministries, departments and agencies to either submit details of their 2018 budget proposals or risk sanctions. The upper chamber gave the ultimatum after the Senate leader, Ahmed Lawan, raised a point of order, informing the lawmakers that out of 64 government agencies, only one has submitted details of its 2018 budget proposal. While commenting on the issue, the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, expressed disappointment that despite several efforts by the President's aide on National Assembly matters, agencies have refused to submit their 2018 budget details to the National Assembly.
This has been a matter that we've been talking about for a very long time. And these agencies continue to show total disregard for due process. I really find it difficult where you are the head of Mr. President's executive arm is doing things properly, and agencies underneath just do things in the wrong way. The essay to the President has even gone far to even put an advert in the paper. So I think it's very clear the mandate we give to them 1 week. It's not that we don't know what to do. Some of our corporations should not be misled as weakness or not knowing what to do, because definitely we can mandate Ministry of Finance and all to ensure that they do not be able to further other releases because they are breaking the law. So we'll give them 1 week, and if that 1 week they don't, then we will take necessary actions to show that they need to comply with the law and that guide them. So we'll give them 1 week. Thank you.
Grossly inadequate, and that's how the theatre commander of Operation LAFIYA DOLE, Major General Rogers Nicholas, described the proposed $1 billion funding by the federal government to fight Boko Haram. The theatre commander made this assertion at a regular media briefing in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, where he also highlighted the successes of the operation, which has recorded hundreds of arrests, recovery of arms, and many abductees rescued.
This press briefing is intended to bring to you updates on our troops' operational activities covering from mid-December, when I took over, to mid-February 2018.
A lot has happened in 2 months. And this debriefing by the theater commander, Operation LAFIYA DOLE, is to intimate the public on the military's activities. And as things stand, it's so far, so good.
Troops of Operation LAFIYA DOLE sustained precursor operations to clear Boko Haram enclaves in the fringes and identified islands of the Chad area, with devastating consequences on the adversary. These precursor operations dovetailed into Operation Deep Punch 2, which is a major coordinated land, maritime, and air operation to root out the insurgents from their enclaves in the Lake Chad area and also in the Sambisa.
Much has been said about the comments of frustration credited to the infamous leader of the Boko Haram insurgents, and the theater commander had this to say when asked about it.
That is a statement of somebody who has already been defeated. He has seen what he has never seen before. You know, we've romanced Shekau enough. So enough of the romance. So we want him anyhow, dead or alive.
With all that has been disclosed by the military on its success against Boko Haram and its repeated proclamation of the defeat of the group, this question on continuous funding is perhaps apt.
I would like to start with the $1 billion funds that the presidency is setting aside for, security issues in the country. Since we said Boko Haram has already been defeated, what is the justification that part of the allocation is coming here?
The answer of the theater commander on the matter showed that a lot still needs to be done.
To me, it's grossly inadequate.
But how would this response affect the position of the federal government? What then remains is that the troops have a job to do, and they need all the support they can get to achieve their objective.
To legal matters now. The Court of Appeal in London has ruled that 2 Nigerian communities cannot pursue Royal Dutch Shell in English courts over oil spills in Nigeria's Niger Delta region. The split decision upheld a High Court ruling last year that was a setback to attempts to hold British multinationals liable at home for their subsidiaries' actions abroad. The court rejected the appeal from law firm Lay on behalf of Nigeria's Bill and Ogale communities, and upheld the ruling that English courts do not have jurisdiction over claims against Shell's Nigerian subsidiary, Shell Petroleum Development Company. Reacting to the judgment, Shell, said the court, rightly upheld the earlier ruling, while counsel to the Nigerian communities said they intend to bring the case to Britain's Supreme Court. Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Makwe Ogun. Makwe?
Well, hello, Ijoma, and should I say happy Valentine's Day to you? Well, here in Abuja, March 15, 2018, that's the day the chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Danladi Umar, will be arraigned before over alleged corruption charges. The federal government had filed a 2-count corruption charge against Mr. Umar. In the charge, Mr. Umar is accused of asking for a bribe to the tune of 10 million naira while presiding over a case involving one Rashid Owolabi Taiwo sometime in 2012 here in Abuja. Mr. Umar is also alleged to have received another 1.8 million naira from the said Rashid Owolabi through his personal assistant, Alhaji Gambo Abdullahi, for a favor to be afterwards shown him in relation to the pending charge in discharge of his official duty. The case has consequently been assigned to the Chief Judge of the Court, Justice Ishaq Bello. Mr. Danladi Umar is chairman of the Code of Conduct Tribunal and will continue the trial of Mr. Rashid Owolabi Taiwo over the alleged non-declaration of assets, despite the pending charge against him. The Senate panel investigating the killings in Benue State has given audience to Governor Samuel Otom. On Tuesday last week, the committee presented a report of its investigations into the failure of the Inspector General of Police to arrest and prosecute the perpetrators of the January killings in the state. However, the Senate rejected the report of the committee for failing to get the views of the Benue State governor on the security issues in his state. Meanwhile, residents of Ogun State have been assured that they can rest easy as the state government is working to strengthen the law prohibiting forcible occupation of land and landed property. The law is aimed at addressing the herdsmen crisis that has resulted in collateral damage in some parts of the country. The Secretary to the State Government, Taiwo Adeoluwa, briefed journalists about the resolutions at the end of the State Security Council meeting at the Governor's office in Abeokuta. He asked all citizens and investors in the state to go about their lawful activities without any fear of molestation.
Council took note that this law already provides for most of the contemporary challenges that confront us today as far as the issue of herdsmen, settlers, farmers are concerned. And of course, Council reaffirmed government determination to continue to fully implement this law. The law already prohibits forcible entry upon land. They call it something grazing. I don't know what they call it in other states. But here we're not going to bother about that nomenclature. We have this extant law in the state that already has provided for most of these contemporary challenges that have come with herdsmen and farmers issue.
Back here in Abuja, the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting continues its scrutiny of how its approvals were executed. At today's session, the Council beamed its searchlight on the Ministries of Budget and National Planning and that of Water Resources. The Ministry of Power, Works and Housing also asked the Council to approve a price augmentation to complete shoreline protection work in Lagos. Correspondent Ibrahim Adra reports.
The meeting lasted for over 5 hours, part of which was dedicated to the memory of late former Minister of Interior, John Shagaya. On hand to brief the Council are the Ministers of Water Resources and that of Budget and National Planning. Their task is to tell the Council what they have done with approvals they got for their ministries since 2015. The Minister of Budget and National Planning, who is chiefly concerned with policy issues, is happy with achievements on many fronts.
The economy came out of recession and has been growing since. The level of capital coming into the country has been increasing rapidly and dramatically. Our foreign exchange reserves have been increasing and are over $40 billion US. Inflation has been trending downwards.
He says there is more work to be done, including the goal of the administration to rake in $25 billion in investments this year.
Target for the labs alone, we target to be able to generate at least $25 billion worth of new investment.
The Minister of Water Resources tells the Council that all of its projects and plans are in keeping with the water sector roadmap.
The other memos were for various ongoing projects, like I mentioned, some ongoing, some abandoned, which we prioritized, because when we came in, we inherited 116 ongoing large-scale projects, and we had to prioritize them after doing a technical audit.
The ministry also got approval in respect of 2 other projects.
The completion of Ogbese multipurpose dam project in Ikere and Ishe Ekiti local government areas in Ekiti State, and also the Ingawa Delaji multipurpose dam project in Katsina State.
The Ministry of Power, Works and Housing on its part wants additional 892 million naira to protect the Tinkan Island shoreline.
We sought Council's approval to augment the price from 8.66 billion to 9.553 billion.
The project is to be completed this year. From the Presidential Villa, Ibrahim Adra.
When the news at 10 returns, Minister of State for Petroleum, Dr. Ibe Kachiku, commends the Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board for fabricating a massive floating oil vessel. To join us again.